here we go.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of Party of Two, where a married couple takes on a world of gods and monsters, and Hayley is not in the library tonight. There was some technical difficulties, you guys, where I was at, did not have internet, so then I had to go to another place, and I am confiscating someone's bedroom at the moment so that I have internet. So the things that I do for you people. Anyway, so welcome you guys to tonight's episode. We have with us for the last time for this little story arc, which is so sad, is Abby and Dave from Tomes of the Chaos Bard. Why don't you guys just introduce yourselves? If you don't know who they are at this point, you're sleeping under a rock. But go ahead and introduce yourselves and your guys' show.
Yeah. Well, I'm David. I'm the DM for Tomes of the Chaos Bard. And our podcast focuses on being family-friendly and just focusing on the story, being able to tell a unique story. And we are followed by our host, Solomon the Chaos Bard, who's telling the story of these adventures as they go around. And if things get a little mundane, maybe throws a little chaos in there, being the Chaos Bard. We have original music and original songs that Solomon sings as well, and that his little sidekick, Quill, plays the music for him. So come and join us at Tomes of the Chaos Bard on all
pretty much everywhere
podcast platforms. We even have a YouTube. Check that out as well. It's just the audiogram of,
which is awesome and super fun. You guys release bi-monthly, right?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Whatever.
So every other week.
So we just released a new one today, and this one is really good. Our bard actually sings a song that he wrote. So it's a parody of a song, so it's really good.
Of several songs.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, cool. So in terms of announcements, Weston, could you kind of give down the rundown of what we're doing this month? Next month?
Maybe I can if I can remember them at all. So we have got Hayley is going to be actually on Q Time, which is happening on, you're going to have to help me with dates though, love.
May 6th.
May 6th. So that is going to be on your Q Time Twitch channel. They are a huge Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign. Been going for a while, and Hayley is playing a guest character in their persistent campaign. So join in, jump into the story, and go see what Hayley gets to play. On top of that,
I don't even know what I'm playing yet.
No, you don't. After that, the week after, I believe it'll just be the Friday after that.
Yeah, it's May 13th.
May 13th. That we will be doing, it'll be our 1 year anniversary to be streaming Party of Two here on Twitch. And we are going to celebrate that with a special stream. It'll be a special one-shot that is going to be in our new homebrewed world of Valitas. This will be somewhat of a zero session, early session. You will get introduced to some prehistory of our characters and of the setting. So be sure to tune in on May 13th at our normal time. It will be in D&D 5th edition for this campaign. So I've got my books I'm studying up on, and we'll be starting out and get introduced and a little preview of what to expect in our next campaign. On top of that, I think that's all that we have for the moment for announcements. Hayley, you've got one, I can tell.
Yeah, well, I did want to say for any of you who are listening to the podcast, it is being rapidly updated on a real consistent basis. So please check back there. I'm trying to update it every day. But if you don't want to go back and listen to everything, we do a season 1, season 2, and season 3 recap. So you don't have to go back and listen to all of the story arcs or the previous seasons. You can just listen to the recaps and then get up to date on what is going on. So please feel free to go check that out. That is available on all the major podcasting platforms. If you have a platform that you would like it to be on, please let us know. Either shoot us a whisper or a DM through Twitter or whatever. You at this point, you should know how to get a hold of us. Shoot us a message and I will get that. Personally, I will make sure that that is up on that platform that you are currently using because we want to have it disseminated to as many people as possible so that they can enjoy the stories of Anna and as well. Okay, I think that is everything. So, Weston, intro please.
Let's start tonight's episode of Party of Two. Two, one. It jumped without me. Like I didn't even click. And it was like,
it
boom.
It just knows us so well.
It did. That was weird.
Oh okay. Well, now you know we talk during the intro. Okay, so previously on Party of Two, our group ventured into the boneyard. They came into a way station and were introduced to the world of the boneyard and the dead paths that they had to take, and the dead roads, that's the name of it, the dead roads that they had to take throughout the boneyard. They were instructed to never leave the path, and that if they strayed, they would be lost in the mist, possibly forever. Az was given a special seal stamped and burned essentially into his arm that gave the group safe passage in and through the boneyards, as well as having Morgan or Morrigan as their guide through the boneyard itself. There was a lot of like physical demanding things that were going on that were not actually combat. Their bodies were being drained very quickly and being in this atmosphere that is designed for the dead and not for the living. They were bombarded with voices and sounds and even saw and interacted with people they loved previously. Az got to say goodbye to his adopted mother, Kaya, who had raised him as a slave, and that he did not know whether or not she was alive or dead. Clara got to interact with her husband, who had died previously, and was given a message to not trust Lamond, but at the behest of the Morgan was not allowed to touch and not allowed to hug. And that is where we ended the session. So we're a few, possibly 1 to 2 days away from the Palace of Pharasma, where the group is heading to get to the gate that Anna is supposed to be putting together. So remind me, did you do a sleeping message, dream message to her?
The last one we did was she confirmed that she got it and thinks she understood. And then we sent the creature also with the instructions, but they aren't in common anymore.
Yeah, they were not in common, which the Morgan did warn you that there was a possibility that it was something would be lost in translation coming out of the boneyard, which unfortunately was true. Okay, so as you are getting up, Clara, from being on the road after having that experience with your husband, Ron, you have pretty much the entire road to yourselves. There's no psychopops walking up and down, back and forth, and it's strangely quiet. and muted. What would you guys like to do?
Well, Clara stands up, wipes away the tears, and says, "Well, let's continue, I guess."
Yes, let's continue.
Az looks up at Morgan, and how much farther do we have to go?
Not far. Perhaps a day. One more night of rest, and then we should be at the palace.
Well then, let us hurry. And then Az will do one last look back in the direction of where he had seen Kaya, and then check. What do we do with the rope? Like, are we still tied together?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are all still tied together.
And then he's gonna reach down on the rope and give it a little tug, and she'll be like, kind of nod that.
Come on.
Come on, doggies.
Come on, children, let's go.
All right. Well, seeing that you guys are anxious to keep moving, Morgan does continue on, and you guys move farther into the boneyard. At this point, you come around a bend, and you're up on a bit of a hill, and you can see out. And through this clearing of the mist, you can see in the not so distant distance, you can see Pharasma's palace. And there's all these spires that are going up into this inky black that is the night sky. And the shadows that are being cast by it are so incredibly long, giving you the idea that this is a very, very big structure. As you move closer and closer to it, you see more and more individuals on the road. You see a few Duskwalkers that are being escorted by either champions of Pharasma or psychopops, going to and from. I would like you all to make a perception check for me, please.
Ooh.
The low rolls continue.
That is a 35 from Az.
Okay.
19
All right.
on the roll.
Clara?
I'm trying to find my perception, but I rolled a 3.
Oh,
Oh, so
17?
14.
Which
25.
I would like to take this moment to remind our viewers that you can use your channel points. 500 channel points will allow you to purchase a hero point for our players, which will allow us to re-roll any D20 roll once. We have to take what we get. Or, if you want to be mean, you can use 1,000 channel points to award our GM a villain point that she can use to
But
re-roll.
she still has another one from
She
last
does have one,
time.
yeah.
I do. It's very exciting. Okay, so Flint, you got a 25?
Correct.
Okay, so another 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clara's just distracted from that moment with her husband.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a group check, so it's fine. As you move, you guys begin to see that the previous spirits that were more translucent, that you guys were able to see, that were being escorted by the psychopops, become more and more dense and more like actual physical beings the closer you get to Pharasma's palace. The psychopops also begin to become more and more human-esque, like humanoid shaped. So less monstrous. You're not seeing as many spiked hoods or talons on the creatures, but more like gangly arms and things like that.
Gotcha.
So, hold on just 1 second.
No worries. Don't worry about it, Hayley. I got it.
Okay. I will not worry about it. Okay. So, as you are moving forward, Morgan turns to you and says, "Do you remember what I told you about the Yamaraj?"
The dragon things?
Yes.
Vaguely. They were dangerous and might decide to judge us. Don't lie.
Yes. Be
If
honest and
they,
truthful.
yes, if they choose to speak to you, you answer any questions that they have honestly. They are normally very busy, but in the city, you never know. They may be in passing or on a break, as it were. So,
Right.
after
No eye contact. Got it.
after about 20 or 30 minutes of walking in relative peace and quiet, you guys do hear what sounds like the commotion and the sound of a crowd of people moving and people shouting and animals, and you come around on this bend on the dead road, and it comes into a large courtyard, and in this courtyard you see hundreds of people, and they all look to be in a place of like waiting. They're all kind of standing around waiting for something, and you
Oh
can
my.
hear them talking to each other. There's one person saying, "Well, I've been here for much longer than you," and then another one farther down is saying, "Are we ever going to get moving?"
So it's the DMV. This is the Rancho Cucamonga DMV where I grew up.
Sure. Let's go with that. I would like you all to make a religion check, please.
Religion.
That's good.
Oh, still single digit.
You're on a roll.
Woohoo! But that is a 19.
Okay.
Az gets a 32.
Oh, man. I got a 31.
Oh,
19 on the first roll, 18 on the second roll.
nice.
I'm sure this will change
Okay.
when the rolls
I'll
matter
take one
more.
for the team and take all the bad rolls tonight.
I'm sure when we're talking to one of these dragon things, like, it's gonna like, okay, does it perceive a lie in anything you say? And I'm gonna roll a 1, and it'll be like,
Well, that is possible that you'll see a dragon thing, but you never know. I
You told
mean,
the truth, but you said it in a lie.
yes.
exactly. Okay, so Az and Flint, surprisingly enough, you remember back in a book that you read at one point about the boneyard as and Flint, a little picture book that had pop-ups.
Yes.
You remember that this is a waiting area to get to the actual judgment seat of the palace, which means you guys are at the foot of the palace at this point. Lost Tribes Gaming, thank you so much for redeeming a hero point. Who would you like that to go to? You can choose as Clara or Flint. So whoever you would like it to go to, let us know. So as you are watching all of this kind of commotion happen, you see a woman that looks fairly similar to Morgan come walking through the crowd, and everyone steps away from her as she comes up. And she comes to Morgan, and she kind of does a little bow, and she does a bow back, and they begin speaking to each other. What languages do you guys know?
Ooh,
Elven, Common,
Okay.
and
I speak Abyssal, Celestial, Common, and Elven.
Okay.
What language? They speak like their own language, don't they?
Okay. Do any of you guys speak Reguan?
Yeah,
no.
I would probably say no.
Reguan. Okay. All right. Well, they start speaking in a language that none of you know, apparently. But it's a beautiful language. It's almost like it's music. It flows in and out of itself. And as Morgan speaks and the other person speaks, the other Morgan, because technically that's a title.
Not our Morgan.
Not your Morgan. The Morgan and the Morgan.
Yeah.
As they speak together, it creates a beautiful harmony and melody that is both haunting as well as engaging to the ear. It makes you want to listen to them as they speak. After 3 or 4 minutes of speaking, the Morgan turns to you and says, I would like to introduce you to my sister, as her name is not something that we can give. You may also call her Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan. Got it.
Or Morgana and Morgan.
She kind of rolls her eyes at you and she's like, okay, yes, this can be Morgana. But then you see the other woman, she bows to you all slightly, and she says, there has been talk of you coming to the palace. It is quite exciting that you have come. We don't usually get humans here. Well,
Living,
Mortals.
humanoid, mortal individuals.
breathing ones.
Breathing.
Guys. Yes, I did read about this place, the Death Memorial Venue, right? That's what this place is, short for DMV, right?
Clara looks dumbfoundedly at Flinty, how
That's what
did
it said in
you?
my book. Death
What?
Memorial Venue.
I'm not even gonna ask what book you were reading.
That is very creative.
Oh.
She says, but you're not completely wrong.
Oh.
This is where the spirits come that have no allegiance and have nowhere to go in the after death. And here they must come and decide where they would like to go.
Oh.
There's also those who believed in false gods. It's not very fun for them.
Yeah, I suspect it would be fun to know that the person you served all your life is not real.
No, they have a tendency to be quite angry. And Morgan nods and kind of yep, in that way of someone who definitely has experienced that anger before. And she says, Morgan turns to all of you and says, Morgana has offered to take us into the palace through a shorter way, instead of having to continue on the dead paths. However, it does involve a portal. Are you all amenable to going through a portal?
Anything to make the path quicker.
Oh man. I remember the last time I went through one of those.
Just hold your breath.
How much longer is the long way?
The long way would be at least another day.
Whatever
We
can
don't
do to
have
be
that
faster.
kind of time.
Ah,
Surely it's worth throwing up.
it just hasn't been much lunch, and the lunch I do have in my tummy, I want to keep in my tummy.
Well,
As you were saying something.
Whatever we need to do to move things faster, the better.
All right. It will also take us to your companion, Lamond.
Ah,
hmm.
good.
All
Clara
right.
looks a little bit sour at that.
I get that. All right. Well, Morgan kind of like ushers her hand to like have you guys go, and um, she follows. I'm assuming you all follow behind.
See.
Yes.
You go push through all of the individuals who are already there waiting, and you hear some angry like shouts of like, "Why do they get to go first?" and "I've been waiting here for eternity," and things like that. There's a general ruckus about the fact that these mortals are now being taken through into the portal. But as you reach the
Uh,
front of the crowd, you see a giant portal that you've seen previously. It looks very much like the gateways that you had seen as you walked through that had the guards in the front. But this time there is no guard, and it is just a large, like, circular silver color. I'm trying to think of how to describe it.
Az is going to turn around and look at because he can see all the people there in the line, right?
Mhm.
And he lifts up his hand, showing his wrist, and yells out, "Diplomatic immunity!"
Yeah, and in response to that, there's a bone that gets thrown at you.
Do I get
Give
a
me a
reflex?
reflex save.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Let's see here. Reflex. Oh, I'm not. Are we still fatigued?
Yes.
I think we are still fatigued.
You
Okay.
are still fatigued, yes.
Hi, well rested.
as a reaction, can I like pull up? Oh no, my shield has to be ready. Never mind.
25.
He did it. They did anyway.
It does hit you, but it's like a little like knuckle bone from a pinky finger, so it's like not that big a deal. You're kind of like, oh, that's annoying. That's gross. That was finger. Right. Morgan kind of comes around you and ushers you forward, and you all move through the portal to be deposited directly into the palace. As you come through, you have that feeling of being stretched and in two places at the same time, and your bodies all feel almost ripped in two and put back together, and it's not a comfortable feeling, but it's from one step to the other. So I would like you all to make me a fortitude save while I let this little kitty cat in the room. Hold on a second.
Still single digits.
Hey, I gotta join you on that one. I get a 15.
I actually did really well on this one.
Yeah, you
Oh
would.
shush.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Apparently it went away. It was sitting at the door, meowing, and then went away.
You're not who I thought I was.
I got
Okay,
15.
I got a 15 too.
Flint?
32.
Okay.
I was prepared this time.
So Flint, having previously experienced the nastiness of coming through one of these portals, you had fortified yourself, and you were like, I'm getting through. However, Az and Clara, because of your previous experiences, you were unable to really make it through, and when you get to the other side, you are so sick. And you're both sickened one.
As I come through the portal, what do I kind of see around me? Do I?
It deposits you into a like obsidian black foyer. It's like maybe 25, 30 feet long. It's like shines a little bit around the outside. There's hallways branching off every couple of feet going different directions.
But there's no like planters or trash
Where-
cans or ashtrays. You know.
No, there's literally nothing. I mean, you could always throw up into your bag of holding.
Small child's backpack.
I don't think Az is gonna throw up into his bag of holding. That's
I'm just saying, like, it sends it to a pocket dimension. It's not like it's gonna touch anything.
recover that later.
I need my throat to throw at somebody.
No, it's just gonna stay in there for the rest of eternity.
Clara probably just takes a moment, like, sort of next to the portal and just vomits.
Oh, see, I know how that felt. Yeah, I know how that felt. You just let it out. You feel so much
Just
better.
shut up, Floops.
Az is gonna he kind of feeling this. He's gonna kind of tap his chest real quick, reach in his bag, grab a mint leaf, and shove it in his mouth. And I'll cast a restoration on myself. Second level, which isn't enough to get rid of drained, but it's enough to get rid of sickened.
Well, for
Hopefully.
fatigued, you guys aren't drained. You're fatigued.
Yeah. So now hopefully that is enough to get rid of sickened.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's like
The disappointment on her face.
Okay, so you've now in this room, and like I said, this is a very large foyer, vaulted ceilings. It's about 30 feet long, and the walls are made out of a stone that's very similar to black obsidian. It shines in the light, and there are candelabras probably every 5 to 10 feet going down the hallway, and the light just bounces all throughout the entire room, making it seem much brighter than it actually is. There's no one there to greet you, and the Morgan nods to her sister, who nods to all of you and then steps right back through the portal to the other side.
Az is gonna turn to Morgan and looking around so we are in the tower.
Yes.
So where is the lady in relation to where we're at?
She's most likely in her throne area, in her receiving room, but unless there's a very valid reason for you to go there, there's no
No.
real way you'd meet her.
I'm not wanting to. Well, I've met before. But just wondering, like, how close are we?
Not close.
Good.
Are you
me,
afraid to meet the lady?
forgive me, but I have, in my studies, I found that close personal contact with deities tends to end badly.
Yes, I understand that.
Mortals-
Most deities are not understanding of mortals, but a woman such as Our Lady, she understands mortality better than anyone.
Yeah, understood. Simply, mortals are not meant to dwell amongst the gods.
No, they are not. She turns and looks down the hallway and says, if you wish to rest here for the night, we can. Or if you would like, we can go farther in to the palace and see where we can find your gate.
I am well. If you two can move on, I am well to continue.
Sure.
I feel very good. Come on. We got this.
I lean a little bit on Flinty.
Az looks down at the puddle of grossness back there.
Yes.
He's like,
I do apologize.
It's fine. Well, now that you've thrown up, you are no longer sickened.
yeah.
So you're feeling a little bit better now. At least you're not nauseous anymore. But you
Right.
might have that little tiredness that you get
Uh-huh.
after you throw up.
And she's fatigued too. So
Yeah, Flint kind of looks back and he's like, "Oh, I can't leave that being a mess. I can't leave it a mess." So he's gonna pull out his moppy, and like just.
Where are you going to clean the mop?
I don't know. I can't just leave this mess here.
Like, I know I can tidy with prestidigitation. Can I do enough to get rid of that? If I cast it like 4 times in a row?
I imagine you could, but it would take you probably two prestidigitations to clean it all up.
All right, as it's going to start. Prestidigitation.
Oh, see? All better. We do not want to leave this kind of mess in a deity's house. You were just saying that you don't want to cross them, so don't want to leave a mess.
Yeah.
It's true.
If Anna found out that we soiled the tower of the lady, I think she would kill me.
Oh, yeah. Flint's going to start checking for dirt on his shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Ooh, that's a 32.
Will you stop rolling so damn high?
Hey, I rolled low on my fortitude save.
I'm taking them for the team.
As you say this, you happen to glance forward and you see that Morgan has a smile on her face, and she's just kind of like, "Oh my gosh, these mortals."
These mortals.
Well, let us continue, please. Are there going to be any more portals?
Not until we have the gate that you are going through.
That's fine. I can throw up on the other side of that, no problem.
Now it is just walking through the palace, which is much larger than it seems. All right.
Let's get going then. And Clara puts her hand on Flinty's shoulder.
Yes. Let's move on.
So you guys move through this large foyer, and you get to a arched doorway that leads into what can only be described as a crystal maze. It's almost like a labyrinth. You can see through these beautiful crystals that are huge, and they're blue and red and orange and green, and every color and shade that you can imagine is growing up out of the ground and through the walls, and you are being able to see almost through some of them, and other ones are dark enough that you can't, but you can see that there is a path that is going through the crystal area, and there's like a light emanating from within the crystals themselves that almost pulses, and it pulses at a rhythm that seems familiar to you guys, but you're not totally aware of what it is. But it's comforting, and it makes you feel at ease with where you are and whatnot. The Morgan does turn to you and says, "As with the mist, please do not touch any of the crystals. It is better for you if you do not."
At that moment, Flynn was making faces in the crystals, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
You guys start moving forward through the crystal area. Give me an Arcana check.
All right. Ooh, another good roll. I'm loving these. All right. Arcana, that's a 31. It's a 17.
You recognize these crystals, especially the blue ones.
as what?
They look very similar to the soul stones that
As
you
he
see.
immediately is going to turn to the Morgan, he's going to stop, like, heavily, foot down. What are those? I remember your reaction when I pulled one out earlier. Can you please explain to me why?
She's very confused at first, and you see her trying to parse out what you're talking about. And you see the second she realizes it, her face goes clear and she begins to smile and she says, "As there are not souls in these crystals. This," she lifts her hands and kind of holds around, "this is the Hall of Memory. These are not souls. These are the memories of those who are lost, the memories of those that are found. This is a place of peace."
As reaches into his bag, he's like, wait, so you're telling me this can hold memory?
Yes.
I
All
will have to study
crystals,
that.
all crystals can hold memory. They can hold a single point in time if you wish them to. And she turns at that and says, "Which is why you should not touch them. If you unlock the memory, then the memory is lost." And she continues to walk.
I wonder how they are measured, like how much memory. Is it?
Are you asking this?
No, he's just kind of muttering to himself, kind of as he's
Okay.
going. You know, is it bite size, pieces? Is it a byte? Megabyte?
Terabyte.
You move through this, and it is a substantial cavern. It has many twisting paths, and you can tell very quickly that if you did not have Morgan to follow, you would be lost. And it seems to go on forever. And you can't tell if that's an illusion or if the room truly does go on forever. And after walking in and through this labyrinth of crystals for 1 hour and then 2 hours, it begins to feel as if you
Feel
were
a lot like
never.
cattle. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
You guys feel like you're never going to get out of it.
Are we there yet?
Morgan, no. No. And Flinty, no. No, we are not taking any more bathroom breaks.
But I need to go to the bathroom.
Eventually, you do get through the Hall of Memories. And it stops as abruptly as it started, through an entryway that is arched. And you step back through into the Obsidian Hall.
Oh, man.
Weren't we just here?
Maybe we should have left the throw up there. Then we'd know if we went in a circle or not.
No, this is not the same.
How can you tell?
When you have walked these halls for as long as I have, you learn them well.
I think it's the candlelight.
Of course. As you walk through into this room, though, you do see that there are other people here now. Where before it was empty the hall was empty that you had been in previously. This one has quite a few people. You see humanoids from every race and style of clothing, of the horned variety, of the hooved variety, of the what possibly looks like the anatomic or animatronic variety as well.
As it's seeing that, freezes, like grabbing his staff, like, Morgan.
Yes.
And he's like, got his staff out, like ready to cast spell, like getting ready to cast spell.
As soon as Morgan sees that, she puts her hand in front of you and like forcibly pushes your hand down.
Is that what I think that is? Is that? And he pulls out the gem again, and he's like looking for a stone in its chest.
Give me a perception check.
Explains why they had so much.
There we go. There's my under 10 rolls. That is a 23.
You don't see one because this is a incredibly different looking animatronic automaton than you've ever seen before.
Okay.
It's sleek. It is standing completely as a human would, and it turns and looks towards the commotion, and it has facial expressions. It has two eyes, a mouth, a nose, eyebrows that are raised. It also has, you can't tell if it's like carved into its head or like a metal plate that's imitating it, but it looks like it has hair. This is nothing like the automatons you've ever seen before.
Okay. As will then nod to the more. Sorry, I was the forces that Anna and I are fighting have certain similarities. I was mistaken.
It's fine. But know that there are souls in things that are unrecognizable to you.
But how do they work?
Well, today is not the day that you will find out. Keep going. And she continues to move forward.
Shoos me along like the kid that found a toy at the grocery store, but it's like, no, we're not buying that.
Yeah, pretty much. Essentially, she's just kind of like ushering you along, like, come on, sweetie.
Herding cats.
We're not getting the cereal.
Oh, man. I promise I'll eat it this time.
I know, right? As you continue, you make your way down this hallway. You begin to see branches of the hallway going off to the sides, and as you're walking, you just get glimpses of what's on the inside. In one room is it looks like a conference room. Another, there seems to be a large altar in the middle, and there are a few people standing around it. In another, you see a gate that looks very similar to the gates you guys had previously gone through. And as you move, you feel that same pulsing sensation that you had seen earlier with the crystals, but now you feel it inside of you. And you're moving closer and closer to the center of the palace itself. The halls are getting more and more crowded, and you're having to stand fairly close together. There's people rushing back and forth in between the different rooms, and there's psychopops that are very obviously moving to a direction. They have assignments and they have things they have to get done, and very, very little heed is given to any of you at this point. You were no longer interesting, we could say.
Yeah. Clara speaks up for like the first time. Morgan, how much further?
Not much, Father. We have to get to the Hall of Gates. Once we are there, we'll be able to determine which gate is the one that your companion is in. And also, your Lamond will be there as well. He, from what I understand, has been healed and is no longer in a state of shock.
Oh, okay. It would be good to see a familiar face.
Yes.
So come. Another 15-20 minutes, and you turn a corner, and it is absolutely astonishing. You see an entire wall full of gates. And on the opposite side of the wall is another wall full of gates. And they are gates into any and every other place that you can imagine. There's one that seems to go, it looks like it goes into a realm, because you can see through these gates. One seems to go into a realm that is made of pure fire. Another seems to go into a lush pastoral land with rolling hills. Every once in a while you see a gate that is black, and you see gates that are being turned on and off. It's almost like this is a giant way station, but there are hundreds and hundreds of gates that line this giant cavernous room. There are many people in it, and once again, they don't take much heed to all of you.
GM.
The Morgan stands there for a little while and looks around. Not a little while, but for a few moments to look around, and you can tell that she's looking for someone. And as soon as she spots them, she makes a beeline towards them.
Hayley.
I see why we're having a hard time picking which gate is honest gate.
Is there any similarity that I pick up between, to a lesser degree, this room that we're in and what was under Infrac?
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll for this because it's pretty obvious to you that this is very similar. These are definitely gates that go to different planes, to different realms.
Now that is something I've not seen before.
Clara.
No.
Most have never seen this. Most never will see this room. There's normally no reason for a mortal to be here.
Morgan,
Yes.
may I have a question that might help narrow down our findings the right gate. Was there
Yes.
a gate?
Just a moment, though. And you guys, you remember she was moving pretty forcefully forward. She does finally reach the person that she was going towards, and they turn, and you recognize the long braid and the eccentric robe of your friend Lamond, who, upon seeing you, says, "Oh, I'm so glad you were all safe. When they told me that you were coming through on the roads and you weren't here yet, I was so worried, and I didn't know." And he comes in and he gives you a big hug.
Oh, yeah. It's so good to see that you're not.
Clara puts her
Right.
hand up and is like, no hug this time.
Oh, and Lamond kind of steps back, oh, okay.
I'm just not feeling the greatest.
Oh, I understand. This whole place it's so exciting, isn't it? I never thought I would get to see a place like this, and I get to see it in person now. It's It's wonderful. And Morgan turns back to you as Lamond just kind of starts chittering away about how wonderful and amazing this place is, and the constructs, and the blah, 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 blah.
Doesn't look like the picture books, though.
As is really quick, he pulls out of the bag and he casts create food to create a bunch of food, and then grabs a piece of the food and just shoves it in Lamond's mouth while he's talking.
And he's like, and I absolutely love that.
And then he turns back to Morgan. Yes. I have some information that might assist with identifying the gate.
What would that be?
Was there a gate specifically to Erodin on the material plane when he was around?
She thinks for a little while. And she says, I believe there was.
Because
But I don't know if that's one of the lost gates.
the gates, the location where Anna is at, and he kind of indicates around. To a lesser degree, it looks like this. And before
Erodin did take things from different gods that he enjoyed.
the gate that we are looking for literally comes out beside a throne in a temple of Erodin that has been abandoned for a very, very long time.
There are a series of gates that were lost because they were destroyed on one side. That was an instance that happened many, many years ago.
The only gates that were destroyed in this instance, there was a gate that appeared to be to Abaddon, and to Abaddon and the Abyss that were destroyed. The one for Hell is still there, and the three for the neutral planes, the Maelstrom, Axis, and here, still stand.
I believe I know the gate that you were speaking of. But it has been turned off for a very long time.
This is why I sent the notes to Anna.
Yes. Let me go and I will see if I can find where these gates are. Gates that are turned off, that are not used, are normally moved. So I will have to go find it.
Need to bring it out of storage.
Unfortunately, yes. As you see, we have many gates, and if one is not being used, we turn it off and we move it.
And Az is just blown away by the idea of the arcane power here to have enough gates that you've got a bunch in storage. He's just like,
That means we have some time to rest.
And some spares too.
Yes, if you would like, you can rest here, of course, or she kind of looks around and we don't sleep on
I'll
the
be fine.
of the boneyard, so we don't have sleeping accommodations for mortals. I'm sorry.
Is there an open space? Is there an area where it's not crowded?
Yeah.
Off to the side?
There's kind of like how in a train station there'll be the sections between the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. There's these large swaths of just empty space, and you can see that is kind of where people congregate, but that happens probably every 6 or 7 gates. There'll be another large swath of space. So you guys could probably walk around and find somewhere to set up
Dang it.
your cabin.
I can't because I, in order to have more sending spells, took off my cabin. Dang it! That's what I was hoping for. Okay.
Clara can just roll out a bedroll and just pass out.
Yeah, 3/4 stop. That's good.
Yeah, I think we've all got
Cabin
our.
was really cool though.
We all pull out our bedrolls.
All right, and Lamond has eaten the food that you have given him, and he's still chit chatting, and he's like, I didn't. So Morrigan has left, and you guys have found a little space to sit. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lamond is just chit chat, like he is like so.
Clara just rolls over and goes to sleep. She's not putting up with that right now.
And he's kind of like, oh, a little bit like a hurt puppy. And he looks at Flint and he says, what happened while you were all walking around?
Oh, well, so how much of that interaction did we all see on each other's?
You
We
saw
see the whole
everything.
thing, and
You
We
guys
were
saw
tied
everything.
together.
and
Yeah,
heard
you guys were all
everything.
tied together, so you saw everything.
Yeah,
We're chained together, birds.
we saw, we heard. Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Well, as met somebody, I think it was like his adopted mom, I think. And they had a little interaction, and you know how Morgan said that you couldn't touch or talk to him? Well, she let him talk and hug her. So I thought it was kind of rude because, anyways, and then Clara here, she saw her husband, and he said that not to trust you.
What?
He warned her about.
Az can hear him talking, right? Az is gonna kind of reach out and be like, "Oh no, sorry, you misunderstood what he was saying, Flinty. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
Well, I was right there. It seemed very, very.
Now, and
Clear.
you saw someone, didn't you?
I think I did, but I'm not sure. I kind of hope I didn't because I mean, from the little things that I've picked up from my little pop-up books and from what you guys are saying, what Morgan says that if it's who I thought it was, that would mean that she's lost, and that would mean that has unfinished business, and if she's walking around in a place like this, I would feel terrible.
Well, DM, can I do a religion check just to make sure I know, like, the spirits that were there had unfinished business, but that might have been like that event that we just had might have been the unfinished business. Is that?
Give me a religion check.
Yeah. Yes, 1832.
Yes.
We love you, Weston.
Weston's just getting the answers to everything tonight. Yes, you do realize that the unfinished business was them coming to you to finish it.
Right. So yeah, so I kind of talk. I believe that the unfinished business was us coming through. So you don't need to worry anymore. They were waiting there, but they were waiting for us. And now they can go.
I hope so. I would hate for her to be in such a horrible place first.
I couldn't
imagine.
I could tell, at least it seemed to me, that Kaya did not seem miserable. simply relieved. I do not think you need to burden yourself with any guilt in this. As I think of it, I think they wanted to wait for us.
Well, I know that. I hope that's true. Because I know I'll see her soon. But not too soon, of course.
Yeah.
Lots of that.
Yeah. Not too soon, no.
Yeah. But anyways, Lamond, yeah. So what happened to you? Like there was all these whispers and stuff, and then you like turned gray and started like mumbling stuff.
I'm not really sure, honestly. I was standing there with all of you and I had the rope and I was following and then suddenly I don't remember what happened. And then
Yeah,
I
they
was
said that there's just more
here.
to you than they mentioned that there was like more to you than meets the eye or something like that.
Well, it's not like I transform into anything.
Thank you for
No,
saying it.
that's true. That's true. I've never seen you transform.
However, Lamond does bring to the question, how have you avoided death this long?
Well, as a servant of Mankade. He's probably blessed by the dragon.
Az completely ignores Flint's talking and is staring Lamond down.
Lamond looks at you with give me a sense motive.
Not as good, but still a 27.
Okay. As you ask him this question, you can see for a brief moment, it's like the mask comes off for just a moment. And you see a cunning and a calculative mind that is razor sharp. And then the goofy old man mask comes back. And he says, well, I guess when Mankade found me, I was given the gift of life, but also I've not squandered opportunity as it has come. I've also not thrown myself into a place where I would be killed.
But you are...
Except come to the graveyard.
You are human, correct?
I was.
Was?
I was. I don't know if you can call what I am now human, though. Anyone that's 1,000 years old is not necessarily human anymore.
My thoughts exactly.
Well, he kind of sits back a little bit and he says, well, I am full and I have been kind of wandering around all day long, so I am going to make a little nest for myself and head to sleep. And he turns around and he mutters something under his breath and then just goes poof, and you see a bedroll appear, but it's not a bedroll. It's like
glamping.
the Rolls Royce of bedrolls. It's the best thing ever, and it's got little cup holders on the side and a little massager and vibrating little back things going on.
And is it like an air mattress or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a forever refilling air mattress, and he lays down on it, and he's just like, well, good night, and kind of turns to the side and closes his eyes and immediately starts to snore.
Now, Hayley, so my create food makes enough food for 6 medium creatures for a day.
Yes.
When I look at my bag, how much is left?
like a lot.
Okay.
Like a full spread. You've
You
got
ate it all.
like 3 charcuterie boards, and you've got
Well, I just wasn't sure if like he ate like half the food or something like that while I was, because he said he was full, and I'm like, wait, how much did he eat?
oh my gosh. Okay, I just have to share this with you guys really quick. I just got a text message from my father that the internet came back up at like 7:57. Anyway, but yeah, you guys have more than enough food if you wanted to eat.
Yep. So we'll
Have
sit
some
and
tea.
eat. And as he's gonna sits beside Flinty, and then in a quieter voice, he's going to just kind of lean forward. I don't think that we should talk to Lamond about what Clara's husband said. I think that is something for her to discuss with him.
Oh, I guess it is her business, but I mean, to get straight answers, we just ask straight questions.
How loud is he talking? Am I like having to shush him? He's just like
He
I don't
starts
know how loud are
speaking
you
loud.
talking?
He's speaking his normal voice.
so, shh, bring it down.
But if you want straight answers, you gotta give straight questions. So I was just trying to help out my friend and get some answers.
However, I believe it is her question to ask.
You're right.
No worries. Simply,
I've
I understand your desire to help is laudable, but at times I say that help is generally best if it is requested.
oh.
I don't know if she is ready to talk with him yet about this, and so I do not want to impose on her ability to have that conversation when she is ready.
Okay, I guess. Okay. I'll stay out of things. I just never seen her so distraught before. I mean, even like, I'm questioning on who Lamond is, and he's always been upfront and friendly and stuff, but it's really got me nervous about, when we were talking about dragons, right?
Ja?
And how they collect things. They have their hoard. And then hearing these shady things about Lamond and things like, and then you talking about slavery and things like, are we just part of his collection? Is Macaulay? I just don't know.
It is difficult. But I would also say that she said that Lamond is not who we think. She did not say that Mankare is not. I have served in the shadows most of my life, and I have discovered that... how do you say this? The wolf in sheep's clothing hides best among sheep. So because one is a wolf does not mean they all are.
But how can, if the wolf is the one who's serving the shepherd, does that make the shepherd either deceived or part of it?
That is a good question. I do not know Mankare. I still have not. Yeah, I still have not had any interaction, so I cannot say. That would maybe be a question for. And he looks over at Clara, asleep. They're on her mat. Maybe something to discuss when she is feeling better and has slept. These are questions for the morning. I have learned not to have serious discussions when tired.
Okay, you're right. We got a big day coming ahead of us. We don't know what kind of things are going to come up with. Okay, yes, you're right. Let's
Eat
focus on
food,
us.
drink water, sleep.
Yes. Cheers.
All right. So you guys all head to bed. Head to bed. Lay down on your bedroll and try to find a comfortable position on the hard ground. And you do hear the commotion of the coming and going, but you have chosen a place kind of farther back away from the more popular, it seems, gates. Through the night, the sound becomes a wash. It almost becomes comforting as you're laying there.
It's white noisemaker.
Yeah, it becomes kind of a white noise sound.
Lindsay's leaning against Lamond's bed, trying to get the comfort from
Trying to slowly encroaching on it.
He's gonna end up in Lamond's bed. Like a child.
I was about to say, it's like a 4-year-old in the middle of the night. When did you get here? So, Flint.
Okay.
You come to a state of awareness. And at first you can't figure out why. But then you realize there's no sound. There's no sound of people coming and going. There's no sound of the gates making any noise. There's no walking sounds. There's nothing.
Clara? Oz? Come on.
As you say this and look around, you see that you are alone. You are in the same spot you were before, but there's no one in the hall.
He'll grab his ball and just slowly start walking around. Hello?
And your boots are just dunk, 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 and the sound is reverberating off of the walls, and as you're the only person in this room, it sounds ostentatiously loud. It is loud.
He'll just stop and let the echoes go, and he's like, oh, wait. Marco!
And farther down the hall, you hear a sweet voice say back, Polo.
And he'll just slowly look down that way. Marco!
And you hear that giggle that you know so very well.
Aww.
And she says, Polo.
And he just starts running. He just starts running and kind of giddily going Polo! Marco!
You run what feels like forever, and you come to a corner, and there she is, mop in hand, washcloth thrown over her shoulder, apron on, and she puts her arms out for you.
And he just buries himself in her arms. Nora.
And she wraps her arms around you and hugs you so tight. The mop dropping on the floor, and you begin to feel the wet washcloth seeping into your own clothing. That's giving you that reassurance that this is real and she's really there. And she kind of pulls back a little bit and she puts both hands on your face and she just says, "It's so good to see you."
Nora, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I came with some friends. We met this one lady. Her name was Anna, and we met past. And the Golden Dragon told us to help take them to the island of Lost. And then we ran into a Hell Knight, and the Hell Knight took Anna, and now we're going to pass, find Anna, and Lamond's here, and I don't think you never met Lamond. He's a pretty cool guy. I don't know if he's cool anymore, but I bet this is lady named Clara. She's here too, and we're wandering through all these boneyards, and I thought I saw you, but I thought and Clara saw her husband, and he's just rambling.
Just telling the whole story.
Yeah, just feeling everything.
And she's got this big smile on her face, and you can tell she's like not totally following everything you're saying, but she's so happy to see you. And she just, with one hand on your cheek, she just like, I didn't think I would see you so soon.
Well, I'm not. Am I dead?
No.
Oh.
No, you're not dead. You're not dead. I didn't think to see you. I kind of work here.
You work here?
Yeah. For Ozma, at Judgment, she gave me an option. I could go on to the next life and live in Elysium, or I could stay here and wait for you. So I chose to wait. And since I was a cleaner, I chose to clean.
Oh! And he gets excited. He grabs his ball and he untwists the bottom of it, and because the shaft is steel, and then out comes this wooden stick flopping on the ground, and he grabs it and he's like, "This, I'm sure you recognize this."
She reaches out and takes it gingerly from you, and she just looks at it like, "Why did you keep this? I mean, I love that you kept this, but why did you keep this?"
And he starts to tear up, and he's just like, "It's so every time that I get lonely, I could still hold you." Oh.
And you see her kind of tear up as well, and she hands it back to you, and she says, "Well, I hope it's a long while until you have to give that back to me. But
Yes.
I do have something to tell you. And I have a feeling that that's the reason why we're having this meeting. Because otherwise, I was told I wouldn't get to see you until you died. So," and she puts everything down. She takes the washcloth off and she kind of gets serious. She says, "I love you. And
I love you too."
You know I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. I know.
But I don't." You can tell she's like struggling. Bless you.
Thank you.
She's struggling in this moment to tell you something.
And he'll just reach out and just grab her hands and pull them in close to his chest.
I died before I could tell you, but you have a child. She was with me when I died. And when I came here, she came too.
Oh. And he's just shocked. Because, like, they've always talked about kids, but it was one of those things like, oh, yeah, maybe one day. And so he's just like, so, she?
The little girl. She looks just like you. She has your beard and everything.
Oh, that adorable little girl.
She can't come here. There's a special place that children go. But when you come back, we'll be together again as a family. She's got big tears rolling down her cheeks.
Right. And they had talked about, like, kid names, right? They talked a little bit, and he just, like, of course, they've always disagreed on the names, what they would name a boy or what they name a girl. And so he gets a little serious. You know, this is a little, I do have to ask you still holding your hands. I do have to ask you a serious question, though. What did you name her? And he's like doing a mischievous smile.
Well, I figured that you would be okay if I named her after a family member. So I named her after...
Sorry, I'm reading David's face.
I named her after your grandmother, Soraya.
Yes. I thank you.
I figured that Melchizedek was not something you would be happy with.
No, I would have to call them cheese and crackers.
Which is why I didn't name her that. Anyway, I can't stay long. One thing, and you see that she's starting to fade just a little bit. She
And
says,
he grabs onto her hands all tightly.
It's okay, I'm not going yet. But one thing, don't put your trust in Mankare.
Mankare. Why?
I know that he and Lamond saved you at a time where you needed it, and you were not in a good place, but they're not noble intentions. I'm so sorry, I can't tell you more than that. It's kind of an area where we've been forbidden to speak. But
I trust you. Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too, Nora.
And she leans forward, and just as her lips touch yours, she fades completely. And you wake up. The sound of the room is back to normal. The hubbub of people moving forward and through and all over the place. The sound of talking, and your companions are asleep.
And I'm sure that he kind of woke up, and the mop handle is out, and he's just snuggles in and just lays back down with just a smile on his face. Sad, but he's extremely happy that she wasn't in the graveyard, the boneyard. Just extremely happy about that, and just that she's doing what she loved. She enjoyed cleaning. And then he sits up and he's like, "Oh no, I forgot to tell her I learned how to clean."
Learned how to. Okay, see. Oh, this is one of those situations where the husband couldn't do anything until the wife wasn't around.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. All right. Well, Morgan does eventually come back to you, and you are all still kind of asleep. And she reaches out and touches you, Clara, and just kind of like shakes you a little bit awake.
Claire just. Yes.
Good morning.
Not a good morning, but morning.
Yes. You wake up. Do you want to wake everyone else up, or do you want to let them kind of still do their thing, or do you want the Morgan to wake them up?
Clara will go over to Flinty and like just nudge him with her boot.
You see him snuggling his broomstick.
She smiles just like lovingly, almost like a child, but also like a really good friend, and just nudges him like with her foot. Flinty, wake up.
Nora? Oh, Clara! Oh, Clara! I saw her.
Nora.
I did. She works here.
Let me guess. As a cleaner.
Ah!
Clara just smiles and tears up a little.
I guess what? I have a daughter.
You're a father?
I am.
There's like a little tinge of jealousy, but like so excited for him. Like, I am so happy for you. So happy.
I'm a daddy.
And she like, because he's like comes up to her waist. She pats him on the head.
Now, I imagine he's talking in his normal voice, so as is
Yes.
like.
Flinty does not have an inside voice, from what I've come to understand.
No. That's why he's been kicked out of the library.
And so as is kind of like, what?
I'm a daddy. I have a little girl. Her name's Soraya. Crap.
Where?
I forgot. But here. Her name's Soraya.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh. He looks over at Clara. Looks back
His
Flinty.
wife died while she was pregnant with a child.
Yes, I'm just not certain how
I'm guessing he dreamt or was visited in a dream.
Oh no, she works there.
I'm just more. Do I say congratulations or condolences? I'm not sure.
Happy that he has a child and that he gets to return here
Yeah.
someday, very, very far into the future.
Yeah, that's what Eleanor said too.
Claire's like, you do not leave me.
Well, see you guys.
Morgan smiles and she says to you, Flint, I was hoping that Nora would come.
And he just looks at her.
Did
and
you
he
get
just
to
gives her a
touch
smile.
her?
And he looks at Clara, and he sheepishly starts digging his toe in the ground, and he points to his lips.
Oh, we just got rated by Uber Geek Media.
Oh, hey! Thank you for the raid party.
My pop-up
Then
what?
I know, I saw that.
Clara then turns to Morgan. A little embarrassed, but also a little bit upset. We're quite a lot upset. Why were they able to touch and not me?
you asking?
Yes, I am asking.
Flinty's expression gets like very sad, like, I shouldn't have said anything.
Every human is different. Every elf is different. Every dwarf is different. Everyone has different needs and different anchors. Your Ronnie's anchor was you. If he had touched you, he would not have left.
Clara smiles a little bit.
Oh, wow. We just got the Space Jammer just rated with 29 viewers.
Oh, hey!
Space Jammer!
Oh, look! All the avatars are jumping for joy and they're doing dances.
Welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
hey, hey! Oh, thank you so much for the follow.
I love the little
Thank
dragon
you.
dance and jump.
Jump!
Jump! All of the avatars do little dances when we get followers. So that's so exciting. Thank you so much, Amber. I love you.
Big hearts, big hearts.
Big hearts. Big hearts. Sorry.
You're another one!
Ooh, another
Thank
follower.
you so much for all the follows. Woo! That's gonna be a thing now. Whee! All right.
If you, real quick, if you are new to the stream, you will when you are in here, you'll get an avatar, and then there are actually a couple different dragons you can pick from, or there are additional types of avatars that you can get for 100 bits, including Zelda, Final Fantasy, and Dark Souls little characters, and there are games and stuff that we can play with our avatars.
Yes, they're very fun. It's very fun. So go ahead and follow, and you will get your own little avatar, and you can play with them. It's very fun.
Go catch some stars!
Go
Exclamation
catch
point!
stars.
Jump!
Yep. Cool. All right.
Okay, back to class.
Yep.
Back to the serious moments in the game. So for those of you just joining us, we are in the Boneyard, which is the underworld, and Clara, Flint, and Az have all had interactions with their dead loved ones, but Clara was the only one who didn't get to touch her husband who had died. So she's just asked why. If he had touched you the way that Kaya hugged Az and that Nora interacted with Flint, he would never leave the Boneyard. He would stay forever waiting for you. Because of your faith, because of your belief, you wouldn't come through the Boneyard when you die. You will go straight to the plane of your faith. And he would be stuck here forever. That is why I did not allow him to touch you.
I see. Will he be...
I am sorry.
So you're saying because of my belief, I may never see my husband again?
If he had touched you, yes. But he didn't. Which means he will move on to where he needs to be, and most likely you will both find each other again. It seems hard now, but in the eternities it was a kindness. His love will follow you wherever you go. And he has the chance to do that now.
I see. Thank you. And she's still like a little... She just trying to weave through all these emotions and just goes, I see. Thank you. And just kind of Walks off for a minute.
To process.
Yes, to process.
Processing. Lamond, through all of this, has been on the ground just like just snoring away, and suddenly, out of nowhere, he goes, "Cheesecake! Well, it's morning. Why are we all standing around?"
What is cheesecake?
"Don't worry. I will teach you when we get back to the City of Promise."
Didn't you make one of those once, Clara?
Yes, I did.
So-
I believe I'm the one who enhanced Lamond's recipe.
Well, I don't know if enhanced is the right word. I think it more have been you added a different spin on what was already a classic.
I believe enhanced it.
Classic that you retro.
GM, with the full night's rest, do we lose our fatigued?
Yes, you do. And you notice you feel fine.
Oh, just fine.
No drain, nothing's drained.
No drained, no fatigued. You don't have to roll fortitude saves. You guys feel wonderful.
So,
That's probably one of the worst parts, is having to roll.
I know.
Close for sleep. Yeah.
I know that always sucks. I hated having to do that to you.
So one question. So as it's going to see wakes up and he sees Lamond waking up. Az is going to look over at Lamond, and I want to try something. I want to cast Organ Sight and see if his innards are human.
Okay.
So I cast Organ Sight, and I'm gonna look in. I guess see through him. I guess see like MRI of internal organs.
David.
Do I see what I expect from a human?
You look a little constipated there.
You're literally full of. Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm not swearing. You notice I self-muted. What is your medicine modifier?
Like what's my bonus?
Yeah.
18. I am a master in medicine.
Okay.
Master.
You look in, and with your X-ray vision, because you are Superman, you see the nervous system looks correct.
Hope so.
The veins, cardiovascular system also looks good. You're very surprised at how healthy his cardiovascular system is, considering the fact that he is 1,000 years old. He has very good bone structure. He looks like someone who's more in his 20s. Except his heart is beating 2, if not 3 times as fast as a normal human being's heart would.
Okay. As I see this, GM, I also cast Detect Alignment. And I can detect any evil aligned. I cannot tell who it is. I can simply, the way the spell is written, choose chaotic, evil, good, or lawful. You detect aura of that alignment. I receive no information beyond the presence or absence. So...
That is a deep contemplating face, Hayley.
I love it, though. The spell says this. I don't know anything else, but I can choose not to detect creatures or affect your effects you're aware have that alignment. So I can negate creatures from it. So technically, can I negate everyone but Lamond from my reading aura and sensing if there's evil alignment?
You can negate creatures.
Oh, there's just a bunch of spirits
Creatures
around me.
are not. So pretty much you could negate everyone that's in the room that is not human.
Okay. All right.
Or humanoid.
Yep. So yeah, so I'm going to cast that, seeking for evil alignment.
You,
Dang it!
this is surprisingly a complicated question to answer.
Actually, so remember, with alignments, at least the way you and I do them, it's not necessarily is he a good or bad person. It's does he have connection with a plane of evil, or evil types of magic.
Yeah.
Is he on the dark side or the
You
light side?
get.
But yeah, does he use the?
Yeah, you are able to pick up from him neutral.
Well, it would only be if do I pick up evil. If there's no evil, I pick up nothing. That's what the spell says.
I know! Will you be quiet? You are able to pick up a neutral, pretty much nothing, but a duality that is evil.
Okay. All right then.
Does that satisfy you?
Sure.
Why not?
My gosh. Okay. So Lamond gets up and he starts rolling up his little bed and he puts it all into a little square and he takes little cup holders and he packs them into the side and he takes a little foot massager and he takes apart all the little rocks that were inside that were doing the rollies on his feet and puts it together into a little box and then says something and it disappears. And he says, okay, so where are we going?
That is an amazing spell there.
It's very convenient.
I need to get me one of those. That would make our travel so much easier.
Yes, it would.
It's one of those commodities that once I was able to conjure it, I've never been without it.
I have a cabin that I can generally bring up, but I was not prepared for it yesterday.
A cabin?
Yes.
Like with a bathtub and a toilet?
It doesn't have a tub. It does have a toilet. However, I can make a hot spring if I want to. So those are nice. I will.
Well, why did we sleep on the ground?
I was not prepared for it last night. I'm sorry.
Will you prepare for it today?
Yes, I will. And actually, I double looked at my spells and I just missed it. It was actually on there. I missed it.
We could have had a hot tub.
We could have.
You could have. Very comfortable.
But while he's like doing stuff, Az is gonna kind of walk away for a moment, and I'm going to try and stealthily to cast a spell.
Okay.
That is called Discern Lies.
Okay.
And so it's just a verbal and somatic. And what it does is for 10 minutes, it gives me a +4 bonus to my perception checks to perceive lies.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Come on. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. That is a 26.
26. Okay.
Just to
Just
cast a
meet-
spell.
You just meet it. You are able to detect what you can detect for the next 10 minutes.
So
By the way, I just want to make sure that anybody in the chat or whatever knows If you have channel points for following or whatever, you can use 500 channel points to give hero points to our heroes, which is a reroll of any d20. They can each have 3. They have all started with 1 for the session, and no one has used a hero point yet, so they each could have 2.
Yep.
You could also do 1,000 channel points if you would like for a villain point, which is a reroll of a d20 for me.
She does not need any more help.
No, she doesn't. But then, yeah, so Az is going to start packing his stuff up and, getting ready to go, like everyone else is. And then when Lamond is doing something else, it's not, mine's not completely on it, Az is just going to say to him, so tell me about the other entity that possesses your body.
Clara looks over at Az.
Do we hear this conversation?
Or is it your soul? Is it a pact?
How loud are you saying this as?
I'm not saying it quietly.
Okay. So
I'm saying it loud enough.
for everyone
I'm
to
saying
hear.
it loud enough for Flinty and Clara to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
He pauses. He
Lizard battle.
pauses.
Seasonal bard? How
Hey!
dare you?
Wait, what?
Hey!
These
Yes! Thank you!
We just
No!
lost.
I can reroll that. Earthquake happening over at Robinson's house.
What are you
Oh,
rerolling?
that's better. He kind of looks at you confused and says, "What do you mean?"
Well, I know that within you, in some capacities, there are 2 entities. Just wondering how that works.
Wait,
Can I roll?
I am confused.
I want to roll a sense motive on
Okay, go
him.
ahead.
On is he lying already?
Go ahead.
Weston just got a point.
Oh,
Good.
okay. So Az just got one, and David, you just got one too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll use it on this one though, because it's a 12. It's better than 10, which means on average I won't roll better than that. So that with the 16 is 32 on the
Okay,
perception check.
You get the feeling that he is confused. He's being genuine right now.
I simply can tell that you have a duality of nature within you.
Doesn't everyone?
Not to this level, no. There is in our way we behave, but your magic has 2 alignments. That is not something that anyone has on their own. So simply wondering, from an academic, inquiry, of course. Do I need to roll deception over now?
Give me a diplomacy check.
All right, sweet. And on that one, I will use a hero point.
Oh no.
All right, come on.
At least he has one.
I know.
Come on, this time. Oh,
Oh, now it's dirty.
can I count that?
No, you cannot count that.
But I want to. That was a good roll. Here, I'm gonna switch dice then. Okay, that was a little bit better. So that's it's diplomacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skill diplomacy. That is a 28.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "Over the years that I have been alive, I have made many deals, arrangements, and there are things that do hang on. But at the end of the day, I am me. And there's no one that lives inside of me but me."
Well, simply a curiosity. And he's going to kind of give a lingering look to Clara as he turns away. Well, shall we start walking?
The Morgan, who has been standing here this literally the whole time, says, "Yes, we found your gate."
Oh, good.
Yes. Where are we
Follow
going?
me. Follow me.
And
And she takes you guys down the hall, and you guys walk for quite a while. You didn't realize how big this room was. And you get to an area where the gates start to be dark more often. And the ones that are active are kind of flicking in and out, as if like the internet connection's not good. It's just kind of like click, 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 click. And you go to the very end and you see an area that's like just black. And Morgan stops and turns to a gate that is not only off, but it's like rusted looking and covered in dust, and has this feeling of complete absence of anything. There's like no energy coming from it in any way. And she stops and she turns to you, Az, and says, "I believe this is your gate. But it's not on."
Yes.
Which means your friend has not turned it on.
Okay. And we cannot, is looking at this, I mean, does Az see that there's a way to awaken the portal from this side?
Give me an Arcana check.
all I can think about right now is Monsters Inc. And
20
It's like, we need laugh power, we need screen power.
I'm thinking Stargate.
Yeah,
I'm thinking more Stargate too.
26.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to see. It would probably take you a little bit of time, but with Lamond's help, you probably could get the gate going on this side.
Okay, because I specifically went to the library and got Awakened Portal as a ritual. And so I would need a secondary caster, which Lamond would definitely work as. So he turns to Lamond. Have you ever awakened a portal before?
Of course.
Would you assist?
Absolutely.
Wunderbar. And so Az begins to pull out components and different things that he needs. So it'll take...
As you do that, Lamond starts like mimicking you in the idea that as you pull out the components, he's pulling out beef jerky, a hard roll, some cheese. Like he's making a little sandwich for himself, and he starts like munching on it.
So Az is going to he turns to Clara and to Flint. This is going to take a while. I would sit down.
Oh, okay.
And so then he pulls out chalk and he begins to write out magical symbols and different things like that. So this requires 2 checks, one Arcana and one both of them are Arcana or Occultism.
Okay.
He uses the same one for both. So we'll use Arcana for both because I imagine that his Arcana will be the highest.
Clara takes Flinty aside and asks, I want every detail about Noah. Everything from last night.
And he'll explain to her about the daughter has a beard like him, and that I wasn't able to see her, or see her, but she also warned me. Very similar to what Ron warned you. And he looks over at Lamond and sees him munching his sandwich.
What?
He says not to trust Mankare. And he looks, right when he says it the second time, he looks very awkward. And he just kind of puts his fist down.
I am waiting to confront Lamond until after. We kind of need him to do this bit.
Yes,
Does anyone have a chisel?
Chisel.
Chisel?
Chisel. I got a hammer.
Lamond kind of goes through his little bag of things, and he's like, "I have steak."
Wooden or?
It's wooden.
No. So he turns to Morgan. And he's like, "You have all these guys. You must have some tools to maintain them."
To maintain them. Yes, we do.
I need a chisel. I need to. The magical symbol on here is corroded. I need to clean the lines. You can't have straight lines. You must be curved.
I will go get something. And you get the distinct impression that she's like, I get paid way too much money for this menial job. I am now fetching maintenance tools for the, like, she just...
For mortals!
This impression of, like, just annoyance, like, flowing at you. But she goes. She leaves to go get them.
See, if we would have just kept Clara's vomit, we could have used that because it's very acidic, and we could have taken off the rust. That would have helped.
Flinty.
Oh my gosh, that's so gross!
That is true.
But anyways, he said not to trust either one of them. And then what I was talking, earlier to Lamond, I have my doubts.
I do too. I'm concerned about everyone else too in the land of promise.
If something is going wrong, we have to save them.
How do we get a whole city out? The only way onto the island that I know of is through Lamond.
Well, maybe getting this portal open, as is learning how to do it now, maybe he could help us.
How quietly are they talking?
We're pretty quiet, surprisingly.
Yeah. Because Claire keeps telling
Like a roller coaster of sound over there.
But he's learning how to do portals, and he could help us.
Okay.
But we need a portal.
We are in portals. I'm sure they have a spare somewhere.
You really think the Land of the Dead is going to lend us a portal?
I could talk to Nora. She does do the cleaning. She may know where the spares are.
If you could even speak to her again. You did say she sort of faded.
I could write a message in dirt. She's the cleaner. She'll have to come clean it, and then when she reads it...
Which means if she's the cleaner, good luck finding dirt.
Oh no. I will make my own dirt.
You dump out your shoes. Crumble.
Like the kids stand when you unend their shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Morgan has come back with the tools and has given them to you. We are going to take a really quick 5-minute break. I know it's kind of late into our session to do this, but we're going to take a real quick potty break, like literally 5 minutes. Okay, Weston, go to our break screen.
Go.
Okay, so as
She brings
you
back
are
the chisel.
working on the chisel, how long at this point would you say you and Lamond have been working on this?
So I imagine right now like 20, 30 minutes or so. In total, it's going to take us an hour, is what the time it takes for the ritual, for us to prepare and then cast this ritual. And then it's an Arcana check from me and from him.
Okay. What's your Arcana?
My bonus
Yeah.
to Arcana, I've got a plus 14.
And your master?
No, I'm trained.
Just trained. Okay.
I put my master into my medicine to keep Anna alive.
That's true.
I'm sure Lamond he's like a 25, 26.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't even have to roll.
I mean, he does, but yeah.
He just needs to roll to see if he critical fails or not.
True.
Yeah.
True that.
Is it? So what's the DC check on it?
So let me open up the spell. It just says there varies on strength and distance between the end portals. Let's see.
So I said the DC?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might be like it uses it, for instance, in the Abomination Vaults, that the highest level, the easier levels, is 15. At the harder levels, it was 23. And then at this level, you decide. This is a GM set DC.
All right, Az, let's have you go first.
I have 1 hero point left. That I will use, because that was a 5. All right. Remember, if you have if you have 500 channel points, I guess I can only use once though.
For the roll, that one roll, you can only use 1 hero point.
Okay, that's a 16 plus my 14. It's a 30.
Okay.
Boom. I am now out of hero points. And Lamond rolled a 1.
Close.
Luckily, with
I
his
technically have another villain point.
Yes.
That I could use as a reroll.
Use it. Use it.
question is, does he even need to?
He does.
Okay, then yeah. Please. Unless you want this arc to last a lot longer.
His hands are all greasy because of the
Yeah, 19 is much better. Okay, so you both passed.
Okay, so as we do it all, we clean up the symbols and everything, and then we surround it with candles that I pulled out. I've got a bunch of candles, and we draw out some magical symbols. Then he and I sit at opposite sides of the circle, with the portal between us, and then we begin to chant. As we do, you watch as the lines of chalk from where we're sitting suddenly begin to fill with a blue color from me. And what would the color be from Lamond? Gold. And so the magics begin to move between us, and the colors begin to mix and flow together as they pass through the symbol. And then where the chalk lines meet the portal, the magic then seeps its way up, going through each of the lines of the magical symbols all the way around, like lighting up the chevrons in the Stargate. And then suddenly you watch as all of a sudden they reach the top, and then the gate opens.
Okay. So the gate is now open on your side, but you don't know if it's open on her side.
Do we knock?
Lamont
How
says,
do we
"Well,
proceed?
Can you send a message to your Anna?"
Yes, icon.
Lamond asks this.
So Az is then going to, especially since the portal is open, now he's going to cast sending to send a message to Anna with his 25 words. Anna, we have opened the portal from our side. I need to know if it is open on yours.
Wait, you have one more than me. Wait.
Or if you can open it.
There's a pause, and you get back a I will kill you. Yes, I opened your damn portal. And the instructions were crap. But I am smart and figured it out. Goodbye.
And he turns to the party and says, it is open. And then Az runs for it and jumps straight in to the portal.
Okay.
Like, jump!
Clara walks into the portal. just follows, like, here we go.
All right. Flint?
I follow.
Okay. And Lamond jumps through as well. He kind of does this little hoppy hop thing and follows along. So it's like as runs into the portal, Clara walks into the portal, Lamond jumps into the portal.
Jump.
Okay. As soon as you get in, go through the portal, you guys have the normal sensation that you have kind of become familiar with at this point. Before anything else, let's do fortitude saves for everybody.
Oh, not again.
Oh. Guys, single digits
3.
again.
So, to 18, I think, no, is that even an 18? My fortitude, that's a 17.
6 plus 17. Someone math for
23.
me.
23, yeah.
23!
I got a 31.
Shut up. Just stop.
Nobody's just like, he's like, dude, I got this
He's
now.
on cloud
I don't
9.
think I've rolled.
He's like,
lower than
bro.
Hey, Claire, you do have a reroll. You do have,
Yeah,
you have
you
2
do
hero
have a
points.
reroll.
Yeah, but we might have a battle.
This may be the last time you get to use your hero points.
It's true.
You got 2 of them.
Fine.
And if we go into a battle, you don't want to be sickened.
I got a 12?
That's true. We don't want to be sick.
12 plus 17.
There we go,
Nice.
29.
Okay, so you are not sickened.
And Az
You
is,
kind of just shake it off like, ugh.
Az goes through, ooh. And he just finds, turns to the side of the...
He does what Clara did in the other room.
he goes over to the side because he knows exactly where they are. Now he comes out of this. He knows that on the side there is the side, just wall and cave, and just throws up.
See, I did that in them.
Oh, so we've got horror persona is rating with a party of 9, and critical misses
jeez.
is rating with a party of 14.
Hey, you guys!
Ball.
Co-raids!
Thank you for
I love
rating.
You guys are absolutely amazing! Thank you, Hyper Persona. The avatars did a jump for you. Woo! Thank you so much for the follow. Okay. Awesome. Okay, sorry, I got really distracted there for a second. So, as you come out of this portal, and you're all dealing with the aftermath of this, you look around. Oh, look at all the dancing!
There we go.
Thank you so much for following. What is that? That's Drag Breath.
Archdragon Breath. Which, just so you know, anyone new on here, if you follow, then you get to have one of these little avatars here at the bottom, these little dragons. There are also other avatars that you can get, such as Zelda characters, Final Fantasy, and Dark Souls for 100 bits.
It's very exciting.
It is.
Okay, so you see, as you've entered in, it's a huge, grand hall with rows of pews kind of going all the way back, and there are giant flags being hung on the walls down the sides, and you can see a figure who is kind of slumped against the... Oh my gosh, Last Tribe, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Thank you.
You rock.
You rock. So you see this figure, and it's like this black shadow, and then you hear this snuffling sound, and it's like, and as you know this sound,
Bruce.
you know what's coming.
And
as you hear a single sharp bark as your only indication before 100-pound Cane Corso flies at you. Make me a athletics.
Oh, jeez.
Athletics check.
Can I do acrobatics and try and dodge out of the way?
No. Not, no.
You just barked in the corner. You didn't see him coming.
I'm sure he's using my 12 to wipe off his mouth.
Yeah, 12.
Okay, when he's up, he's full size. He's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And he straight on your shoulders, down onto the ground. And he starts licking your face, and you hear Anna.
Flinty and Clara just go, ooh.
You hear Anna screaming from the back of the hall. Bruce! Bruce, stop it! Bruce, get back here! Bruce! And he's completely ignoring her.
Take a D4 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. As a reflex to all this, because he can't, it's dark in there. Az is actually going to, suddenly his halo turns bright. And lights up above his head, which I think this is the first time you two will have seen his halo. But his halo brightens up, so it lights up the area 30 feet around it, and then 20 feet after that in dim light. So he can then see Bruce full light in his vision. And then you watch as he pushes back for just a second, and then grabs the neck around and pulls the dog in close.
Are you okay?
He's like, and you just kind of hear, oh, does he need scratches? Does he need scratches? Does he need scratches?
And Bruce is just he's making that whiny pitch that. If you've ever had a pit bull or any bully breed dog, they are so loud when they are excited to see you. It's ridiculous.
We get every day when we come home.
Yep, exactly like a boxer. So he is just all over you, and you hear the quick footsteps of Anna running up. And then the slight hesitation as she's kind of coming up the stairs. And she kind of grabs Bruce by the scruff of his neck, because he doesn't have a collar, and he kind of she pulls him off of you, and then she's just standing there in front of you.
And as stands up, and then
Hi.
he runs and he bear hugs, like just hugs Anna
Aww.
around
She
the.
wraps her arms. She wraps her arms around you, and she just kind of holds you there for a minute.
And then as kind of backs up, reaches into his
Clara puts a hand on Flinty's shoulder, just like,
reaches into his pocket, pulls out a piece of paper, and then goes, okay. Well, I'm here. What are your other 2 wishes?
And Flinty goes,
What?
and he just gives like a thumbs up, like, yeah.
I was told it was funny.
And Flinty's laughing.
And she smiles just a little bit, and she says, I've missed you. And she kisses you.
And as
I
kind
told you it would work.
I pushed Flinty. I can't believe that worked.
and as kind of holds there for a second, kind of like, what the? And then he goes for it.
Woo! Clara and Flinty are cheering. Yeah!
Never fails. Never.
And then I go over to Bruce and I go,
And he's like super happy and like moving so that you can get closer to him. And
I am
all that.
so excited to be out of the boneyard. Oh yes, but you
Has Bruce ever even seen them?
Bones.
Bruce has met them.
Okay, I don't remember if he actually met them.
He
Yeah,
was
Bruce
in the
met them.
tavern with us.
Oh, that's right. All right.
Yeah.
And because he was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Yeah,
And
he was pretty standoffish for a little bit. So Anna steps back and is just kind of like, huh. So she kind of turns to the side and she's like, oh, you're with them. Hi. It's
Yeah.
good to see you all again.
Are you okay?
Yes, are you all
You
right?
seem pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I'm fine. It's actually been okay. We've been able to handle all of this pretty well, Bruce and I. He sees better in the dark than I do, so he is able to kind of sniff out, and we were food. We're good. And Lamond is just standing there by the portal, like,
Well then.
okay. So, everyone's good.
Yeah.
Shall we gate? Or shall we tell what?
Yes.
Let's
Let us teleport and leave this
Right.
place.
Does
I do.
that mean we have to go through the boneyard again?
No. That's why I'm here. I am taking us
Thank-
directly back to the city of promise.
Which what's Anna's reaction as she hears them say, go through the boneyard?
She she realizes that you guys came through the gate of the boneyard. So she knows that you've been in the boneyard.
But, like, I imagine
she's
they'd be
kinda
like,
So when you say go back through the boneyard, did you go through the entire boneyard, or did you go
we've been
to
to
the palace and then?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
We've been to the palace.
You went to
But
the
we-
palace?
But
Oh,
we had to
huge.
go through the boneyard to get to the palace.
But you went to the palace.
We can tell you all about it later. I will
Yeah,
give you
Clark
all the
grew up in
details.
it.
I'll give you
Yes,
all
I
the
did.
details.
Yes, please. I would love to. You got to go to the
I knew you'd be.
Let's go. I don't like.
Yeah, I
That's-
probably don't want to do it down here, but
Okay.
We'll have food at the tavern. We can talk.
Okay. Right. And who are you? And she's pointing at Lamond. And Lamond kind of
This
like,
is our wizard friend that we just told you about. 1,000 years old.
He's like, I'm Lamond.
Clara slightly like stutters when she says friend. Like just slightly.
And you see Lamond kind of look you over like, what is going on? But he kind of says, I am Lamond. I helped build the City of Promise with Mancare, and I am...
When she doesn't say anything.
Yep, and he notices that you don't say anything. He's kind of like, what is going
Clara
on?
does too, but like with a knowing look.
Uh-huh. But he's like, I did the thing. Let's teleport, and then I will.
He'll turn to Anna, Az will turn to Anna and be like, he's the one that can get us back without having to walk a very long distance.
I like that. I don't like long distances, so let's do that then. Right. So then Lamond goes and he draws the circle that you guys recognize from before, and he has you guys all come into the circle. It takes probably 20-30 minutes to do, and once you're all in the circle, he says the words he needs to, which are words, and suddenly
Abracadabra, kazam.
all the words, all of the magic words, and the portal, you
Shrink
see
in size, very small.
Not to save enough room for all. Hickety spiggity stickety smoke. Press the digitonium.
Yeah!
Anyone who can throw in the chat what movie that is, you would be my friend forever.
I'm like, and suddenly the entire mountain falls down on top of the party, and everybody's dead. That's okay, so you see all of the lines that he's drawn begin to glow, and they glow this beautiful golden ray color that sweeps around the room. And as he finishes his incantation, the circle itself like becomes a full column of light, and you guys are teleported from the Citadel Infrac under the mountain to the City of Promise. You are now in the City of Promise.
Where do we show up? Do we show up?
You are in the second floor room of Lamond's tower.
Right.
You guys all kind of come out of this feeling kind of the similar. You're still feeling that similar thing that you do with the teleportation, just not as heavy. But I do need everybody to make a fortitude save for me.
Fortitude. I rolled a natural 1.
I rolled a 15. Sorry, really exciting.
Nice. So for those in the chat who have a hero or who have channel points, if you have 500 channel points, you could give as a reroll for a hero point if you would like. If not, it's okay. You don't have to. You know.
You know what I mean? I just, we just had this moment, and now you're gonna have me throwing up in the corner.
You deserve it for all the good rolls.
Honestly,
like this is payback.
I got a 32.
Anna would expect nothing less.
It's true. Anna kind of shivers a little bit as she comes through. Seasonal Bard redeemed a hero point.
Is it for me?
Sure,
Yay.
why not?
Okay, it can't be worse than a 1. Hey, it's 2 1s. So it's 11.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying the second one was a 1 too.
No. So, all right. So that with my fortitude, you said? So that's a 25.
Yes.
25.
25. Okay. You are sick, but you're not like sickened. You just feel kind of.
Ooh. That
Just
was
not
like
happy.
on a car ride where you were looking at your book.
Yes.
For a little too much of the ride.
So it's like you just gotta hold still for a minute. Flint, what did you get?
27.
27. Okay. And Clara, you got
I am unaffected. 32.
32. Perfect. All right. You guys are both unaffected. Az is just a little queasy. And Anna just kind of stands there and she pats his back a little bit. And she's like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just breathe. Just breathe through it. It'll be fine.
Do you
We'll get some
realize
good
that it
food
was
in you
right
and-
after we left? We did a portal thing as well. I have never gone through as many portals as I have since we met. Ay.
We kind of have been through a lot, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not fun.
You'd think I'd get used to it.
Apparently not.
Sure.
And Lamond's like, all right, chop chop. Let's go downstairs and do things. And he kind of like wanders down the stairs and kind of leaves you guys alone. You can hear him like putzing and like touching things and whatnot.
So is he in the same room as us?
No, he's gone. He's kind of like gone down the stairs a little bit. Like he's expecting you guys to follow.
Okay. Clara, I think we should try and get out of here.
But we can't leave all these other people here.
I know, but we can't necessarily stay here either.
Is Az hearing them? Like, are you guys like?
We can't necessarily stay here either.
What
Let's
are you
just
talking
go.
about?
Let's just go. We'll talk at my tavern.
Talk at the tavern. Talk at the tavern.
Clara, Flinty, he's been doing this for 1,000 years. I can promise you, if he has intentions.
I kind of put a
Zogan-
hand on his mouth. We will talk at the tavern.
Talk at the tavern. Talk at the tavern.
I was just going to say, you have time. He does not move quickly. Okay, tavern. Oh, do you have something that will settle a stomach?
Oh, of course I do.
Oh, good. Crackers or something like that. That would be good. Oh,
Mhm.
Anna, are you hungry?
I could eat. Yes.
What did you eat down there?
Well, I had rations, and you were only gone for like a day and a half.
What?
What?
We're gone for like a week.
What?
They said time in the boneyard is different. I'm
Well,
just glad
I-
it was shorter
but
on
we
your
were-
end.
But we were on in the city of promise for a couple days.
Wow.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We were in the city of promise for like a day. There's been no time that passed in the boneyard. No time passed at all
Oh,
for her.
That's kind of cool.
So wait, what?
So
Talk at the tavern. Talk at
talk
the
at the tavern.
Let's
Talk at
go.
the tavern. Talk at the tavern.
Okay, we'll talk at the tavern. Right, this tavern that apparently everyone knows about except for me. That's fine.
We'll take you. They have good food. Good potatoes.
Okay, good potatoes. Do they cut them? Like, do they like where they
Yeah,
put it in
well,
the thing?
You will
Yes. Goodbye, Lamont.
You guys kind of truck down the stairs, and strangely enough, you realize there's like no sign of Lamond.
Oh,
He's
Wow.
kind of gone.
well, that makes this easy. All right, go to the tavern. Go to the tavern.
Off to the tavern we go. Hey!
Clara kind of pauses at the door, just like. He's usually here to see us out, because this is lots of.
Az turns around at the door and just kind of yells back in. Should we bring the potatoes next time?
No.
Okay,
Nothing.
he knows. We better go fast.
He knows what.
You hear a strange quiet in the city. As you step out of Lamond's castle, Lamond's tower, you hear a stillness That is very unusual for the city, especially since Lamond's tower is in the center of town. There's no sound of people talking, walking in the streets, no sounds of merchants selling anything. The people that you normally see are just not there.
There's no one?
Not where you can see them.
Clara.
Clara runs to the closest door and bangs on the door.
No one comes to it.
Flinty, kick this door down.
Give me an athletics check.
Oh, okay. Athletics. That would be a 31.
All right, you are not Vox Machina. You kick the crap out of that door.
Yeah,
It goes
doors are
straight
not in your
in.
way.
And after he kicks it down, Claire just goes in and just goes through all the rooms, just looking for any sign of life.
There's no sign of struggle. You do see on the table, though, there is fresh food that seems to have been just prepared. It looks as if they might have left just around the time that they were getting ready to eat.
Clara, do you see anybody?
No, but it looks like they're just gone.
Is
Looks like they
Croatoa
just
scrawled on the
gone.
wall somewhere?
No.
They didn't grab anything. They did nothing. They were preparing dinner and they're gone.
Flint will run out to the street and just yell, Marco! Well, it worked last time.
In what could have possibly been a response, you hear the roar of the unmistakable sound of a dragon.
Get inside. Get inside. Everybody in.
You know, I was always waiting for this
Shush.
moment.
Quiet.
I was always so excited for this moment, and now I don't want to see him.
Everybody inside. Inside now.
Otto's just like, what is going on? I thought
A
we were going to tell-
dragon.
And now
Get
everyone's
inside.
gone, and then there's a dragon. What is happening?
A dragon.
I really saw a dragon.
Oh, jeez.
At this point, Bruce comes around Anna and stops right in front of her and looks up at her. And she and Bruce connect and they begin talking to each other. And you only hear her side of the conversation. And she says, "What do you mean you know this person? What? How in the world would Alea be here?" "No, I have not seen or spoken. You've been with me the whole time." And then she turns and looks at Az and says, "Bruce says Alea's here."
Bruce can talk.
Yes, Bruce can talk. Well, kind of. We talked through our minds and, like, we're connected. So, like, he
Who's
can talk to me.
Alea?
Alea is a person. What, is she a person? We're not really sure what she is, but she has a very distinctive smell, and Bruce can smell her, apparently. Here.
Okay, is she friend or foe?
Friend? Az, is she a friend?
She has been friend. Az walks outside.
Oh no! Don't go
Don't go outside. Stay in here.
Just let us deal with this. So Az goes outside, and then he is going to use a cantrip of Bullhorn, which makes his voice super loud. It's your voice can be heard loudly and clearly to all listeners within 500 feet. So it's like a mega horn.
Oh, Iomade, help us.
And he walks out and then yells on Bullhorn,
Iomade.
Alea or Menkade, whichever one you want to name yourself, can you come talk? And he just kind of stands there waiting.
Okay.
Flint is just like peeking over the threshold of the door. It's just like.
Might be seeing ours than
You hear the sound of the flapping of gigantic wings.
Well, at least we get to go out with style. And Claire pulls out her sword.
Here I come, Nora.
And coming down from the sky, kind of doing a giant circle over the entire town, is the most beautiful and huge golden dragon that you have ever seen. And it comes and swoops down, and now you understand the reason for the space around Lamond's tower.
They can land.
As he comes in, his wings fold inward, and he lands on his back feet. And with one claw down, he roars to the point where it hurts your ears and it makes your bones shake with the vibration of its fury.
Oh, fury. Oh, no.
When it stops, it looks at you and says, You called me.
Az sits down in Indian, in like legs crossed. So what do I actually? And he'll cast message to communicate directly. So what am I actually supposed to call you?
What do you wish to call me?
I don't know. Are you Alea? Are you Lamond?
At that sound, he does this like head shake snort thing at this the mention of her name. And he says, No. I am Ankare. And you see his wings flex slightly.
Then who's Alea?
You will not speak her name in my presence.
And Lamond?
Lamond is mine.
Az is going to he'll then message again, but this time he's not going to go to them. It's going to go back to I'll do it to Clara and be like, "Oh no, we have a schizophrenic dragon. He has 3 personalities living in his head."
Oh, no.
As if things couldn't get any worse.
This is not Tiamat. I just want to say that.
What do you mean?
Anna grabs her sword and pulls it out.
Clarice has hers drawn still.
And she's gonna come right up behind you, and just stand there.
Wait. Let us.
I don't know what this is like. She's like, I don't know what you got me into, but bloody hell, freaking golden dragon, are you kidding me?
Az is going to pull out his bag. I haven't done create food yet. He's going to create food. And he's going to look up at the dragon. Eat. Talk.
Here, have a Snickers.
You believe that this mere trifle of a feast would satisfy me?
I thought of it more like, the little candies you keep for guests.
After all I've done, and his wings extend in kind of a gesture to the town around you, and all I've done creating this, and I get betrayal. And he turns to Clara and Flint looking at the two of you.
Well, same goes to you, Minkare.
How have I betrayed you?
You lied.
He kind of does this little thing, like, golden dragons do not lie. Thanks for the villain point, Andrew.
Oh, boo! Not now. Oh.
You lied.
Well, you know exactly what he lied. I mean, we never asked him.
And where are all the people that were here?
Yeah.
Where they should always be. Safe.
And what is it that you own Lamond? That he is yours?
From the side, behind the tower, you hear clapping. Just a slow that stays steady. And it comes around the corner. And you see a figure. Long, beautiful, lush, blonde hair. In robes that are elegant and beautiful, covering a dress of purple that reaches straight to the floor, to the ground. And Anna looks at Az and says, I think I just found Alea. As Alea comes walking around and joins your little group. But you notice she takes 2 steps in front of you.
Ah, so you're a dragon too.
She just kind of raises her eyebrow at you. And she folds her arms almost like a disappointed mother. And she says, Mankare, you cannot have them. He kind of angrily twists his head and he says, why? They are mine. They are in my territory. They're on mine. And she just shakes her head and says, no, they are not yours. And he begins, you start to see smoke curling out of his nose and his chest is beginning to
Clara grabs her
raise
shield. As if that would help.
more. And Alea says, you will lose this fight. He doesn't seem to respond to her at all. She turns to all of you and says, I'm sorry, but this is not going to be fun. And she takes off her cloak and folds it gently, puts it down on the ground, and you see a shockwave of magic just come off of her. And it ripples down through her entire body, and she elongates, and her face begins to form into the snout of a dragon and the wings that furl from her back as she sprouts, and the sound of breaking bone, her body being melded back together, being ripped apart again as it becomes a ginormous golden dragon. And she just right in front of him, and she, with the voice of a tempest, shouts at him, "They are mine!" And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. So,
I belong to no one.
Fight with some dragons.
possibly. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight, you guys. This was a little bit longer because I really wanted to get to this part before our dear companions had to leave because they're abandoning us. It's fine. Anyway, what do we have for the end of the night? Well, end of the night, just a reminder, Monday night, Tabletop Train Talks, where we talk about tabletop gaming, train, and other nerdy things. Join us here at 8 o'clock, Mountain Daylight Time. Go check out Tomes of the Chaos Bard, who are absolutely amazing on all of the podcasting platforms. You can find them, and they're awesome family-friendly show.
Thank you to everyone who followed and to our gifted subscriptions.
Yes!
Please, if you want to support the channel, please subscribe. You can actually subscribe for free using an Amazon Prime account. So if you have Amazon Prime and haven't used that yet, we're a great place to use it. You can also, for those who've just jumped on, you can also find this on podcast, on any of the major podcast networks for us, as well as finding Tomes of the Chaos Bard on those as well. And I think that's all that we have for the night.
Yep.
So join us next week, I think, for possibly the exciting conclusion of this arc.
Yep.
And then we will be introducing, again, doing a one-shot on the 13th in our new homebrewed world of Velitas.
Yep.
So be sure to join us next week and on the 13th. And just remember, it only takes two.
It only takes two. Good night,
Good night,
guys.
everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Oh, we should probably raid.
We should probably raid.
We can't tonight. We gotta go get our children.
Well, you guys can.
You guys
It's fine,
don't
but
have to.
Our
Right.
channel can raid. But you guys go. We love you. We're talking to you tomorrow anyway. So
Yes.
bye.
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 I will go
thanks
ahead
so much
then.
for joining us tonight. I'm glad you guys were able to hang out. Was it for any friend? I know Synth Night, you've been with us kind of from the beginning, and Andrew, I know you've watched for a while. Was that a surprise? That Leia was a dragon?
I was surprised.
She's been a dragon this whole time.
All right. Actually, there's pretty much no one on.
There's nobody on.
There's
Okay,
Captain
so we-
Robert from, which is probably a replay.
It's
and
probably,
that's-
it probably
that's
is a replay. Yeah, let's not raid into a replay. All right, well then, I guess we are good for tonight.
Thank you all so very much, and you have a great night.
Good night, you guys.